Hi. So yesterday I talked about how we have entities in our space and in our house and everything else. And I sort of forgot to mention to talk about things in our space. We focus on ourselves, but often, like I did, forget that our house is full of stuff. Like you take a phone, for example, or a pen or something, anything you have handy. Even, like whatever you get from the store, from people, you take, you buy, you decorate your house, someone gives it to you, you borrow it from anyone. And there's like a lot of ways how we can get things. But some of these items travel from one hands to the others or all over the world until it reaches you. And we forget that, like, hey, items, things around us, even the whole house, it has energy too. It can have attachments, not the item itself, but beings attached to items. People give you stuff with an intention. Other times, it's entities hanging on to it. So it's been a few times where I caught myself just like, hey, like, why am I having such a rough day? What changed my life? And I looked like, well, physically doesn't seem like I did anything. Mentally, like I was doing freaking amazing, but I do the scan and everything else. I check my surroundings. I don't feel targeted. I don't feel like there's anyone I should blame. And then look at my house. There's stuff I recently got from people like just relatives, like best intentions, like, hey, we love you, there it goes, and like I hope it helps and all the stuff. And the moment, like, yeah, it seemed fine, but the energy, like I look at the item and like, okay, let's connect to it. And how some people, I don't know, like espers or whatever you call them, psychics, like they can take a thing and they kind of get a memory from it. And so I just like touch an item that my relatives gave me. And at first when I got it, like I wasn't really unpacking it, and then stayed in my like closet and all the stuff, like, yeah, whatever. And then I touch it, and it's like I get a recall of what happened in their life before I got that item. And that's like, yeah, like they got it, like bought it as a gift, and it was all a good intention. But somewhere in it all, like between getting a gift, putting it away, and then until the time they take it and give it, they had tons of fights. They had tons of fights and things happened between them. A lot of like jealousy and conflicts and everything else, and it was left unresolved. But all this energy is just gushing out of it. And let's just say, when you're angry or you have other emotions, I don't like there are some people who are into playing video games, or maybe they're into sports, like they're into the competitive stuff. And when things don't go their way, when they get frustrated, like they're into smashing stuff, throwing coffee cups at the wall, smashing plates and stuff, or maybe, like, hey, fucking keyboard and whatever, and they just break stuff all over the place. And stuff didn't do anything, but you got, all emotional and picked one whatever was the best outlet. And for some people it works, and that's okay if they find an outlet. But we have to watch that, hey, there are things we get from people or we take, or even like, hey, I brought the book from a class or whatever. And while it was hanging out there, a lot of people had fights, a lot of people had various incidents, and their energy, it's like when you sneeze, bacteria and everything else all over the place, like for quite a while, and that sticks to stuff. Your energy, the same way, you might feel jealous, you might feel bad, you might feel like stuff is wrong, you might be concerned. And you know how people around you might have an emotion and they don't talk about it? And you can just feel it, like something's wrong. And it's not even in their face. They can be smiling, they can be nicest people in the world. And you're like, now what's wrong with you? Are you okay? Like you ask all those questions to like, hey, open up. Like, what the hell is up? Like, you're so smiling, you pretend that all is nice, but the energy here is killing me. Like, what the hell, man? And some people, like in the surroundings, we might have it all the time and we forget about it. We forget that we react to stuff. We listen to the news around the world or in your own personal space. There's someone you like and you're in love with them and you want to get a person and they might have rejected you, or they're hanging out with your best friend or someone you knew so well that they didn't like the person, but now they end up for like together. Like, damn, like that really pisses me off. And like all those emotions you might have. like various stuff. So you have your own emotions, everyone does, and we forget that certain things that we feel, it's not just staying within, it radiates. And anything that is around us sort of gets a bit of that energy, yours, someone else's. Someone walks into your house, you go to visit someone, and even just walking in the city or somewhere, people are carrying all those emotions and feelings. And as you're passing them by, you don't even have to have entities jumping back and forth. It can be just close and being close, like the clothing, and you're passing someone by, that energy, like that stuff that's sticking to it. It's just like reek, the smell kind of like touches you. It's similar to that. So you bring it home eventually. You change your clothes, you put your things away, and one day is okay, a week is okay, a month is okay. And we don't give a damn about it. We don't even know about it most of the time. We don't care. And then it builds up. And we're trying to clean our house up, but it still feels like, hey, I cleaned up, vacuumed everywhere, dusted off everything, like washed all the dishes and stuff, like put stuff away. Still feeling dirty as can be, like, what the hell? And we don't even look around our house for the most obvious things. All the stuff that we let our feelings connect to and stick with and all the stuff. So with that concept in mind, all you have to do is, let's just say, you don't even need to pick up this one thing. Like, I have a rubber band. Yay, a rubber band. How do I clean up with a fucking rubber band? What about your entire house? It's not one thing at a time. It's simply, let's just say you get into the state where, okay, sit down, relax for a bit, breathe. The diaphragm exercises are freaking awesome. You can do that, or just whatever breathing exercise you like. So just, you get into this more relaxed state if you can. And with that, just have this intention. Okay, I want to clean the house and protect it. And with that, think of having this energy within you. Like, you can never run out of astral etherical energy. Physical body can get tired. But when we talk about concepts where, Lelouch is being taken and everything else, you have infinite. It's infinite. You just feel exhausted because your body's reacting to it. As an energy, it's infinite. So we have to learn to use it. Call out when you need that. It's like your superpower, but we usually forget about it. Like, oh, physical body reacts. Physical body gets exhausted. But your consciousness, never. It doesn't have the exhaustion. It doesn't. So if we learn to reach out, and I'm not a pro at it, I'm not best or anything, but it's like a muscle. Again, like everything else in our life, we have to build it, we have to learn, we have to use it, practice it. And we don't like practicing a lot of things. We just do it once in a while. It doesn't work, we give up. We kind of drop it. It's tiresome. It's like not fun. But okay. What I do for myself is I just like, what kind of energy would I like to have in my house? I like it positive, uplifting, like something that would make me feel good when I enter my house or when I'm in my personal space. And with that, if you have had any great moments in your life on Earth, or before coming here, or in the future lives, you focus on those moments, the key things that made you feel great. Maybe that infinite love you were feeling. Maybe that joy when you accomplished your goal, when you met someone you really wanted to meet and cared about them, like friend or a lover or a family person or someone across the world, across the universe. When you learn a new thing, whatever moments kind of like makes your life stand out, makes your existence stand out. And if you don't have any of those, think of what would make you feel better than this place, better than this whole life you have experienced. Like, yeah, you might have watched some movies, maybe animes, maybe you played some games, maybe you read some books, maybe you listened to music, some kind of things, maybe you looked at paintings and arts and everything else, and something that you did and or looked at and or listened to and or smelled and tasted and whatever perception you can get, it kind of felt an impression. It kind of felt an imprint of, wow, I like that. Whatever. For me, I had those key moments where as a kid, I was watching the anime called Dragon Ball. Yeah. And there's this character called Vegeta, and he basically was kind of like a Prince of All Saiyans, bad guy turned good, but then remaining to his true self kind of thing. And like for me, like when I was a kid, like I saw him sacrifice for his family and drop all of his ideals and things for he was fighting for, because eventually he realized that whatever he cared about was way different. It wasn't about being the best. It was about protecting everyone he loved and just, doing his thing. And, like everyone can interpret that any way they like. That was my interpretation. But for me, he was the best because of that. And I fell in love with the character the moment I saw him and everything else. And that moment where I saw his sacrifice, he basically uses energy to self-destruct, but at the same time trying to take out the bad guy. And with that, he kind of like gathers up this massive energy and expresses it like beyond his physical body. And it's like a massive explosion. It's like a massive energy ball that keeps on expanding and sort of surrounding massive space, or even the whole earth, or even the whole universe for you. But I have seen key moments where I'm like, I like that and I want that. And same interpretation, I used my energy expanding to remove entities, even as I walk. Like I get pissed off, I get triggered, I love to go for a walk, it gets my attention away. But with that, I'll program myself, every step I take is causing this massive explosion that will take out a bunch of entities in like miles and miles away. So it's kind of like helping out. But anyway, your house, you focus on expanding your energy, but it doesn't have to be destruction. Of course it can be, but love, joy, like clear my whole space, make it pure, make it like I don't know, like tranquil, like whatever you want to feel and have. And with that, maybe love, maybe imagine like taking a can and like graffiti and all this stuff. Well, just spray everything with love. Spray it with love and just love and clearing and pure and like all this joy and all this stuff, anything you want to feel. But your energy work, your imagination, your intention is so important. So I talk about removing entities from our space, I talk about working on ourselves, but our space, as in our house where you live, is important. The items, we forget that our emotions, other people's stuff, they're like, everything has a memory. Like water has memory, everything has a memory. It sticks. So just that intention to clear your space is so powerful. And at the same time, another thing you can use is imagine creating a helper for yourself, like Tupla, a Gregor, or people called all those things. So basically, you're just like creating a guardian, a warrior, a healer, or anything you want to call it, a being, or a lot of them, more than one if you want to, and you give them a shape, you give them a form. They can be anything you want them to be. Maybe a feline like humanoid feline warrior, maybe a dog like warrior, maybe like just like I don't know, like some anime character, movie character, something that makes you feel good, protected, safe, and all. And have them like tell them like, hey, clear my house, you have the godlike power, secure my space. And they will do that. They're people create protectors in their space, like a servant, like a helper, like anything, but their job is to protect you, is to do things for you. And a lot of people use those to get out of body, to secure their space. We can use that same thing to clear all the stuff that you have unleashed onto your house or someone else, that items around you and all the stuff, just some clearance. So I just thought it would be good to bring it up, and hopefully you find it useful. If you have other techniques, feel free to share or some of the things that you do as well. And hey, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.